Pentagon agrees to host Qatari F-15 fighter jets and pilots at Idaho Air Base. And there have been some meltdowns over this today, that is for sure. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth announced Friday that the Pentagon has agreed to host a new Qatari Air Force facility in Idaho, saying that the nation has played a, quote, core part in securing the Gaza peace deal. Now, there have been some people online that have said that possibly the Qataris are going to come to this air base and use F-15s to bomb us or carry out some sort of terrorist attack or whatever. You know, is that, Ian, what do you think? Is that likely? Is that ridiculous?
It's quite a jump to assume that would be the outcome. But I think Hegseth came out and tweeted that it's not a Qatari military base. So it's very confusing the way Fox reported it, saying that it's going to be, they didn't specifically say a Qatari military base, but maybe.
Well, actually, Fox did. They said Pentagon approves new Qatari air base in Idaho, which is very misleading because that's not at all what this is. So do we have that tweet up? Yes, we do, actually. Perfect. Yeah, so Pete Hegseth saying the U.S. military has a long-standing partnership with Qatar, including today's announced cooperation with F-15QA aircraft. However, to be clear, Qatar will not have their own base in the United States, nor anything like a base. We control the existing base like we do with all partners. And I believe this has been done with about 70 other countries at this point. So this isn't weird.
I went to high school in the same area near Mountain Home Air Base, and we had the Singaporean armed forces there playing with their planes as well. It's happened with other countries before. I think it's happened with Germany, et cetera. Other countries we have a relationship with. So it's not like an unprecedented thing. I think just because it's Qatar and they're like everyone has these other accusations about Qatar right now that it's a big story.
Yeah, and they just bought these planes from us as well.
Mm-hmm. This is how you globalize. This is how the liberal economic order is attempting to globalize. It's by fortifying relations between countries in the Middle East, countries anywhere on Earth, and then giving them a piece of the pie by giving them some space in the United States to operate. So, we're sort of tied now. If one of our countries gets hit, we both get hit.
If I understand correctly, this is only for the for training, though. For training, because they're buying the F-15s and they're bringing their people over here. They get training here, and then the F-15s and the people will go back to Qatar.
I got to say, then Fox wildly mishandled this reporting, because I only read just the early parts of that story, but it seemed like they were blatantly saying that Qatar is setting up a military base in Idaho. I'd love to get some nuance. And to what exactly is it? Is it just going to be an American base that's
just
leased?
a facility? Yeah. It's not even that. It's just a building on the base. That's it. So that they can train the Qatari pilots on these F-15s. Why Fox did it this way? And they didn't even update their story, which is a little bit concerning here, because it's, even from the beginning, this was taken wildly out of context. If you just listen to what Pete Hegseth said, he clearly didn't say that they were putting a Qatari air base in Idaho. So
what's the Qatar connection here? Because I've been hearing a lot about it. Someone said Tucker Qatarlson. I think Laura Loomer was calling Tucker, and that stuck with my head. I'm like, I like Tucker. But
Qatar spends a lot of money trying to influence American politics. So,
and are they allied with Israel?
Not particularly.
They're weird. They're kind of mediators between the Shia and Sunni world at the moment.
Oh, well, they were the mediators of this peace deal that's unfolding right now in the Middle East.
We're trying to pull the Gulf states into our orbit, so that's what this move is. I mean, this isn't handing out influence for free. This is still on our terms, these sorts of things. But Qatar's had their own position between the Saudis and the Iranians. They're trying to kind of be that mediator, that middle ground.
Yeah, all the countries in the Middle East, they all have their own agendas. And sometimes they're at odds, sometimes they're not. But it's not a situation where the Middle East is just a blanket kind of opinion because they're in the Middle East and they happen to be all Muslims. There's a lot of different countries with different agendas, and they all work towards their own, towards results that best fill those agendas. So.
And I highly doubt that these, for the people that are saying that Qatar is going to use these F-15s on our soil to attack us, these aren't armed F-15s. So unless they're going to be, running them into things, then I'm not really sure what that attack vector is.
It's like the people that were like, Jade Helm is going to be the government taking over.
Well, saying that now we're now a Muslim nation. We're now occupied by Muslims, and I there is a problem, right? I mean, I think Dearborn, Michigan is a pretty good example of that. East Plano, Texas is becoming an issue, and then Minnesota is now Somalia, a Somali colony. But I'm not sure that this really does anything to further a Muslim takeover in the United States.
I mean, the Saudis have a similar arrangement. I went to high school in San Antonio. They're at Lackland. They have pilot training there. I think there was a shooting in like 2019, and it was a Saudi trainee in Pensacola that did it. So it's like, yeah, this idea that this is like unprecedented is just crazy. Like Singapore has a similar arrangement. I think at the same base in Idaho and Mountain Home, like this is like a very normal thing. But since it's Qatar, it's red meat for a lot of people, a lot of panicans. Unfortunately, there's a lot of these folks. But
So-
yeah, this is not going to usher in Sharia law or anything.
It's really interesting in the comments section here, which I'm reading as we're live. We're being accused both of taking money from Qatar and Israel in the same segment. So this is we are really raking it in, guys. Way to go!
Stacking money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Qatar is it? I'm not sure if it's Qatar. I don't know. I say Qatar. I like how that
Doesn't matter.
sounds. They were under Ottoman rule till the British took them over in 1916, and then they got independence in 1971. They're under a monarchy at the moment, so it sounds very similar to the Saudi arrangement that we have. We're allied with them because it's geopolitically sound, but not necessarily because we agree with their government style or anything like that. But they obviously have the British influence from the last time.
Yeah, I mean, look at the strikes that took out the Hamas leaders. They struck in Qatar. The Hamas leaders were living in Qatar for a long time, so they don't like I said, they have their own agendas. They're not like doing whatever the U.S. says or not doing whatever the U.S. says. They have their own, they have agency. They have their own agenda, and they're going to do things that are best for them.
Yeah, I mean, well, they run Al Jazeera, and Al Jazeera was very critical of obviously the global war on terror, and they were the mediator. Like every time, Bin Laden would make a statement or something, he would run it through Al Jazeera, and Al Jazeera is the state network of Qatar, like their BBC, effectively. So
It was good. That was a good resource in 2013. Al Jazeera was a great way to find out what was really happening in Syria. So props to them for holding up that opposition media.
I don't think Al Jazeera is even that bad. I'll probably get flagged for that take. It's just they will not be critical of Qatar. Like during the World Cup, they were like, "Oh, someone fell off the scaffolding. Really weird. Yeah, it must be an idiot." Like,
What happened with this peace deal? This is another. I don't know if we're going to talk about this story tonight. Yesterday, Trump apparently solved the Middle East, and then today, Netanyahu was like, "No, we're not done. We're still at war. We're still going to have troops." Did you guys catch any of that?
No.
But didn't the Israeli Knesset vote to approve the peace deal? So is Netanyahu going against that now? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
See, here's the problem. I focus on the United States.
Yeah.
That's the issue that I care about. I don't care about any of this other stuff. I truly don't. I'll let other people take care of it. But I mean, I love his shirt over here. It's fantastic. I don't know if anybody's seen it yet here.
We've had
They got you.
We've had what, 3 Israel shows or 2 Israel shows this week? I don't think that we need another one.
Yeah, the war on terror, it's more just a war for geopolitical dominance, like the liberal economic order versus whatever else is left, which is, BRICS, which is flailing because Russians and Chinese aren't like that tight. The Indians obviously are super. They love the United States, apparently, according to Modi, their president. And how do you do it? Do you let Israel be the attack dog and like wipe out an area over there so that we have this nasty nuclear, bulwark to then kind of make sure that the Iranians don't go haywire with their Sharia law and nuclear weaponry? Oh man,
it's just it's a dance that Trump is really. I mean, he's a great negotiator. Obviously, this is a dance you have to play. Is like Qatar has their own agenda, sure, but they have to play ball with us.
Sure, yeah.
And then likewise, we can maybe sweeten the deal a little bit because like obviously the Abraham Accords are a priority of the Trump administration, and Qatar is the linchpin of that. And so yeah, I mean, this is a way you can play ball without surrendering sovereignty, and it's a huge departure from Biden, obviously, who would just basically give up influence with no strings attached. So.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.